All right, we got a doozy for ourselves here. This is, I just got done watching this game, and I'm pretty much going to record this replay right after having watched it. I'm pretty sure all these people are still in the lobby chatting about the game as I'm recording this. So, this was a really fun game. We have 1-5 comp, nothing too crazy there. 2-6 gets red, EM6 liberal, that's fine. I'd kind of felt bad for Manu. I'd been specking him earlier, and he'd had a couple hard losses as fascist, so it's kind of nice. He gets a lib this time. 3-7 is force, no problems there. They have, of course, 9-6. 6 wants to avoid QQ for some reason. So here's the first fun point of the game. He picks 5, right? And so Pingu just literally straight up calls 2-5-6 fascist. And pretty much sticks with that. Like, I actually have to give it to Pingu. He did a really good job sticking with 2-5-6 fascist scene until he eventually switched it to 2-3-5 instead of 6. And I mean, it may seem obvious to now that you can see the replay, but during the game, trust me, it was not obvious that Pingu was a fascist saying all of that. At least not from my perspective. To be fair, I didn't really read all the chat. So, okay. First off, 6 picks 5, right? I should talk about what happened. 6 picks 5, and then he gets 3 reds. So, I talked about Manu earlier, and this is Manu's life. You know, getting red, imving a lib, and then that imv lib gets red, and SC's a fascist. So Keck really thought 4 was liberal. But they wound up announcing a 9 on 4, but I guess 3-5 didn't hear it or something. And Canaris also 9'd, which was really interesting. I think Canaris was trying to sheep Keck onto his side. That's why he was following Keck so hard. Whereas the others were like, nah, we're just going to yaw this. Like 1-5 yawing this. It should be. But at the end of the day, 4 gets 2 blues here. So I haven't been keeping track of the deck at all. I know Pingu actually got a blue when he ditched. So that's 1 blue. 3-7 was force, and then 4-5 is an underclaim, but so that's 5 blue deck. Now it becomes a 4 blue deck. Not that that really matters. This game was more about chat reads than anything else, and I will be getting into the chat. Don't worry about that. So 4 does that, and then I believe they top deck back to 4-6. Yep. So now you have 3 and 6 are both conf lib. I mean conf, not Hitler. 4 is just the unluckiest fascist. He gets red, blue twice. I really don't know how you avoid 4 ever after he plays 2 blues in Hitler zone like this. Like, this just, like, I don't even know what the odds are. Actually, let's pull that up. See if I can. That's what I'm looking for. So, in the last deck, he was the last gov. There was 3 blues claimed. So there were 3 blues left. There's 5 in the thing. So 3, and there were 3 picked. What's the odds he gets 2? The odds he gets 2 is 60%. Whoops. And the odds, so 70% he was going to get too many blues on the first deck. The next deck has 3 blues in it. There's 12 cards. Take 3. What are the odds he got 2? 12%? Is it really that low? I'm not doing it wrong. There's only 3 blues, and he still got 2 of them. I'm not entirely certain how this works. Because 7-3 is about to play a blue. Yeah, he gets 2 blues as well. Oh, there were 4 blues. Okay, so what are the odds of that? Okay, let's look at it from that point perspective instead. There were actually 4 blues. So he had the 21%. After that, there's 2 and 9. Yeah, those are some pretty crap odds. Like, if we go back to 12, 4, pick 6, the odds that you get all 4 of them in the first 6 is, yeah, really freaking low. So That's basically what libs needed to win this game. This game was so screwed up that a fascist got in Gov 3 times and was not able to take a gun. Like, this game, in my mind, there's no doubt that 4X should have been Yod in Hitler Zone. Canaris was hard pushing for X7. He wound up pushing for 6-7. It really doesn't matter. I love it. That gets 2 yaws from liberals. Everyone was reading Shiro as lib, but Manu as fash, because how can you ever... If you're Manu, this game is just completely destroyed. Like, there's no way you could ever be liberal if you're in C2. Your best bet is to actually yaw somebody in, like, 1-5 or whatever. Try to shade an actual fascist. They top deck the red, of course, because there's no blues left. And then 6-3, they do that, and they top deck the red. So kind of a sucky game. It's kind of unfortunate that liberals lost this. To be fair, fascists deserve to win 100%. I just, personally speaking, the actual lines I never would have seen as being 1-4-7. So this is literally like... like, liberals did everything possible to throw this game away, and they still like, okay, think about it from this perspective, right? Let's go back a couple govs. 3-6, 2 yaws, 3-6, right? Imagine if they get 5-6 to yaw. Of course, the fascists aren't going to do that. Maybe Canaris or Frank can yaw. I don't think Pingu can ever yaw. But think about it. Like, even if you're a fascist, actually, it makes sense to yaw this, because you know that there's no blues left. You've claimed 2 blues. Let's see, there's 5. They've top decked 1 red. Did they top deck a red? I forget, actually, if they top deck a red here. They played, 4-6, and then 7-3, and then, no, they just 9'd. So there's no blues. There should be 2 blues. Let's see the probability. Out of 5 cards, you have 2 blues. You're going to pick 3. What's the odds you get at least 1? It's pretty high, I imagine. 60%, and then the odds of getting 2 is probably 10%. Oh no, it's even higher. It's actually much higher at 30%. So 90% you're supposed to get a blue. That means that there is a decent chance that 4 is going to get shot, right? A decent chance, not a great chance, but 4 can get shot. Okay, and the reason for that is because he claims RRB on the first deck, which is a 4 blue deck. I forget if they top decked. Let me just check. I don't think they top decked, right? Like, they never top deck. No, they never top deck in the first deck. Yeah. So, it's a 4 blue deck. Relatively good odds that there's a ditch in the first deck. But at the same time, 2 and 6 are both red, red, red. So it's like, if 2, 3, 6 are yawing this, and it passes, and 4 9s, that's the only way you can really think that 4 might be the ditcher instead of 2 or 6. Like, it's never going to happen that way. So, maybe fascists can yaw this fairly safely, and Manu gets shot quite a high percentage of the time. Like, fascists still won this game in the end anyway, so that kind of sucks, but... like... I don't know. What else could libs do? Maybe if they decide not to freaking yaw all the fascists, they might have a chance. Maybe. The deck was just not set up for liberals to ever win, which just sucks. I mean, what can you do? Like, I don't know how you 9-4 here in veto zone. 4 should have picked 6 for sure over 7. I guess I'm thinking that 4 thought that 6-7 was lib, and that he was he was fascist with 2 or 1-5 or fash or something. Because he, definitely 3-6 is lib, and 7 is probably lib. So he's probably like, well, if 7's getting in anyway, I might as well pick him. But no, it's never happening that way. I mean, Keck picking Shiro is some top tier stuff right there. And of course, this is like, these 9s are all like freaking nining the last Gov in Avalon as the 2 spies. It's actually beautiful that fascists could do that. Man, it's a crazy game. Let's go through the chat. Let's see if there's anything in the chat that was really remarkable. I was mostly paying attention to what Pingu was saying, and he wasn't saying very much. The observers were also pointing out that Pingu wasn't saying much. The observers were like, "Oh, hey, the fascists are just coasting this game," and I'm like, "Well, I wouldn't exactly call it that." It's pretty funny. Pretty funny game. I definitely want to highlight Shiro's chat. 2D1s. Flip. 137 is likely. See, like, yeah, there was a point where 5 was super confused. He's like, I know 1's fascist, right? So for me, it's between 2-6 and 3-7. And then Keck kind of agreed. Everyone definitely called Pingu. Everyone in game called Pingu fascist. I actually thought Pingu was. I was probably the only person watching the game that thought Pingu sounded liberal. And the reason I thought Pingu sounded liberal was because 4 played 2 blues in Hitler Zone. 7 played a blue in Hitler Zone. How am I supposed to ever think 147 is the fascist team exactly? And he was saying all the right things too. Like, I just want to. He was like, whenever 4 picked 4-7, he was like, I just want to point out that 4 played 2 blues in Hitler Zone. Why are we not considering 4 here? Which is absolutely 100% correct, chat. Like, I would totally say that if I was in 1-5, if I was liberal. Like, no freaking doubt in my mind, I would resign to 4. I don't know how people didn't resign to before. Shiro 4 fascist. That means 3 is lib. 4 liking 6 but not yawing. Yeah, 6 9s. Let me go back. Right, so where's the gov I'm looking for? It's 4-3, yeah. So 6 9s this, 6 9s 7, and 6 9s 3 7. Yeah. So it's really easy to shade 2-6 if you're fascist here, because 6 knows, right? Like 1-5 is a conf. And even if they think 2 is liberal, that still leaves a liberal in 3-4-7 that you have to find. And to be honest with you, it's kind of hard to think that 2 is liberal this game. So that puts 2 libs that you should be able to find just purely based on chat reads. 6 initially liked 4 a lot, that's why they SC'd 4. And 4 got Yod there. After the discussion, they decided to TD, which was just... I don't know why people like TD so much, but... Anyway, let's continue reading chat. Oh, I hate the trincate. 16 stays 6-7. 3x pros. 135 only. So, yeah, see, Manu was confused too. He knows 6 is lib, right? And 4, like, I totally understand why he thinks 135 is fast lines. 4 and 7 are playing all the blues. Like, this game was so... No person at all had the right lines. There's not a single person that ever said, like, 147 was possible lines. And nobody could. Like, that's... No one could ever say that. The only thing, like, was that Frank was rightfully pointing out that, like, people were skipping over him, and that is essentially saying that he got RBB twice, and that's what happened in this game. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that even happens that way. I mean, that is some... It takes a lot of wiggling to try and get out of yawing 4. Like, if I was a lib in this game, I would have resigned to 4 after they played the second blue. Like, maybe I'd have some inhibitions about them having RBB in the first deck, right? That's totally reasonable to think about that. But once they play that second blue in 4-6, it's like, I mean, we went through the odds, right? So it was fairly high odds that they got 2 blues. But you didn't see 2 blues, so you know they got RBB or RRB. They did not get RBB. And considering the fact that there were 3 left, you know, the odds there is pretty high. It's 60%. But then once you get to the new deck with 4 blues in it, you pick 3. What's the odds here? It's a lot lower. It's a little lower. They become 80% liberal. And that's just on that blue alone. That's minus the odds that they got, you know, RRB in the first deck, which is totally reasonable for you to think. That's a 40% odds, so it's even higher than 80% actually. It's just crazy. Like, the more I think about this game, the more, like, it twists your mind. And Fascist won, which is rightfully so. I mean, they got 3 governments in Hitler's zone and had to play blues. Literally, like, it's one blue, 3 reds, and they play 3 of the 4 blues that get put down. And then Liberals lose on top deck, which is totally right and justified in my opinion. Like, there's no way Liberals should have ever even had a chance of winning this game. It's just, it was an overly prolonged game, and so the chat was just off the freaking wall all game long. I mean, geez. I guess the one thing I will say is that the observers definitely had it right that fascists, whoever the fascists were just coasting this game. They were just not putting in any effort. Canaris eventually put in some effort. 4 was not putting in effort. Pingu was definitely not putting in effort. Pingu was just literally calling 3 libs the fash lines all game long. It was originally 2-5-6, and then he just switched to 2-3-5. And the only reason I remember that is because I noticed that. You know, I paid special attention to that. And given how 4 played a blue and then 7 played blue, it's like, I don't really blame him for doing that, for playing that lazily as a fascist. Like, why not? So, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Libs lost. I have absolutely no issue with that. Liberals lost this game. So, I think I'll leave it at that. They fucked up hard. They didn't realize that. I mean, come on, actually, I take that back. How are they fucking up that hard? Because fucking the only way they lose on top deck here is if 7-4 are exactly fascist and they both got RBB in this deck, which is exactly what happened. And there's no way anybody's ever going to think that because they think 2 is fascist. Like, there's no way Aunt Manu was ever lived this game in anyone's mind. Like, G fucking G. I think I'll leave it at that. You guys take it easy.